What's wrong?
You're not gonna believe this.
Uh-oh.
The battery's dead. Cut it. Scrap the whole thing. We're not doing it. We're done. Let's go. What's going on, Canes fans? Oh well. I guess we'll never know what the Aggies diss track Take 2 would have looked like. Now, before we get into this Miami versus Texas A&M preview, I would like to take just a moment to say thank you. We gained a little over 1,000 new subscribers on this channel just last week. I promised you guys that I was going to deliver more content than ever before in the 2023 season. You guys also promised that you would show the channel lots of love if I did so. And I think after looking at the numbers last week, we both delivered. So let's keep this train chugging along and let's continue to grow the college football family here on YouTube. So if you're not already subscribed, if you could do me a favor and just double check and make sure that you are, because you're not going to want to miss out on the fun we're going to have for the rest of this season. We are just getting started. And what I want to see is leave a comment down below, literally anything, and make sure that you're subscribed. And I'm going to pick some random people that leave comments and send you some free bracelets. Now, if the camera will work for me, you can see one side says Coach Coop and the other side says Cane for life. So just leave any comment on the video. I'll double check and make sure that you are in fact subscribed. And if you are, I'll pick some random people and I'll leave you a comment and I'll get your information and I'll ship some of these out to you for free. So let's dive into this thing. And I want to kick it off by letting each and every one of you know that I am not scared of this Texas A&M team.
I know it's so scary. They can
That's okay.
And I know that the Canes aren't either. They have more attitude, motivation, and focus this season. Even though game one was just against the Red Hawks, we definitely looked a lot more scrappy when compared to last year's team. However, I do need to add that the Aggies are also a completely different team, and it's very apparent. Jimbo is no longer calling plays. His new offensive coordinator, Bobby Petrino, is, and he loves to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. And given the fact that these two teams look very different in 2023, I don't see too much of a reason to bring up the 2022 matchup very often. So just keep that in mind throughout this video. It's honestly kind of like comparing apples to oranges at this point. A&M is opening as the favorite in this game, and in my opinion, understandably so. I mean, you have to look at the facts here. You have to look at the history. And the Miami Hurricanes haven't beaten an SEC team in a decade. So we're kind of at a point here to where for the Canes, it's you got to show me. We got to come out and show something that show that we can compete with the team out of the Southeastern Conference. It will be interesting to see how much, if at all, the game plan on offense changes for Miami this week. You guys know that we ran the ball a lot against the Red Hawks, and I think that it surprised many Canes fans, but it's not a bad thing because we were quite successful on the ground. It was also raining. So that's why I mentioned it's going to be something we want to watch to see if the game plan offensively changes a bit. I bring it up because the Aggies have some big bodies on that D-line. They've got some absolute athletes out there. And you also best believe that their corners are much more athletic than the Red Hawks. So our receivers are going to have to win some one-on-ones out there. But it's not all good things for the Aggies. I realize that I'm spending a lot of time here hyping them up and giving them their flowers. They were penalized a lot in their first game against New Mexico. 9 in total for 87 yards. And get this, 4 of those were personal fouls. Could discipline maybe be an issue for Jimbo's team? I hope so. Their run game could also end up being a little lackluster this season, and that would put a lot of extra pressure on Wigman and the wide receivers. But to be fair, Wigman looked the part last week. Again, quality of opponent, I understand we could argue that, but we could argue that for Miami as well. Either way, this is 100% a statement game for both of these teams, and I think that's something that both fan bases can agree on. So let's take a quick look at the history between both of these two teams. The Miami Hurricanes and Texas A&M have faced off 4 times in total, with the series being tied at 2 games apiece. A&M, of course, as we all unfortunately remember, did win the game last year 17-9. And even though the Aggies won, I think both fan bases, I really do. I really think both fan bases would like to forget that game from last season. Time for 3 keys to a victory for both squads in this one. And I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with Miami. And coming in at number 1, we need to see more tackles for loss in this game. The defense mostly kept everything in front of them last week, which was good, but the Canes will need to live in the backfield this week. We had 6 TFLs on Friday, so let's make it 10 plus on the Aggies. Number 2, we need touchdowns in this one. I understand that sounds very obvious, but we don't want field goals. Obviously, if it comes down to it, we take the points, of course. But I'm a little worried that A&M could score quite a bit. With that being said, let's put the pigskin in the end zone. And lastly, the O-line has to clean up those penalties. The last thing we need in this big game are drive killers. A false start on a 3rd and short is far too dangerous in this one. And now 3 keys to a victory for Texas A&M in this game. And coming in at number 1, start fast in the 3rd quarter. The Aggies' first offensive possession in the 3rd quarter was a 3-and-out last week. This has not been uncommon with Jimbo Fisher teams at times in the past. Number 2, use your big, powerful, and athletic D-line to stop Miami's run game. You have lots of depth on the D-line and could easily rotate in fresh bodies throughout the game. The Canes blocked very well in Game 1, and offensive linemen were consistently getting to the 2nd level and beyond, blocking upfield. This will be an interesting battle to keep an eye on. And lastly, this one is going to be a 2-part key because I really just couldn't decide between the 2, and I feel like it's worth mentioning both. So first off, penalties will have to be less overall. The Aggies were creeping up on 100 penalty yards. That can bite you in the butt real quick. And I also think that they have to avoid becoming one-dimensional in this game. Wigman seems like a pretty good quarterback. Again, I'm just going to be blunt and honest here. I think he is. But I also think that Miami can make you pay if you can't establish the run. Because, again, I see Miami's D-line getting some pressure on Wigman, and that could create some issues if the Aggies can't also run the ball. So here we are, the moment that college football fans around the world have been waiting on. My score prediction for this game. But first, before we get into it, let's take a quick look at the final score from the simulated season earlier this year. Now, the final in that one was actually Miami 31, Texas A&M 13. It had the Canes defense shutting down that Aggie offense. And of course, we always have to take a look at the ESPN matchup predictor, which will be popping up somewhere here on your screen. And much to my surprise, they actually have the Aggies as an underdog, coming in at 46.8% chance of winning this game, and Miami at 53.2% chance of winning. And at the time of filming this video, A&M is hovering around a 5.5 to 7.5 point favorite, and the over-under is coming in at 49 points. And last but not least, trust me, I know at this point in the video, you guys are like, Coop, let's finish this thing up. Let's see the score prediction. But I pay these people a lot of money. And what we got to do is check in with this team of scientists and doctors that I hired. I pay them the big bucks to analyze my score prediction to ensure that it is as accurate as possible. And I think whenever you see what my Miami versus Redhawks prediction was, you'll see that this has been worth every penny. So right quick, let's check in with those guys over there, and then we'll get back to my score prediction. Hello once again, college football fans. I am part of the team that Coop has hired to analyze his score predictions, and I would like to let you know that I am not Coop. He let us know that he saw a lot of comments on his last video, and people said that I'm Coop, when obviously there's no way Coop could grow a mustache as sexy as mine. I mean, go look at his previous videos over the years. I don't know that he's ever had a mustache. And that is no shade at Coop, because Coop pays us very well. He actually purchased this 100% real laboratory for us, specifically for analyzing his score predictions. And I would like everyone here to know that I am both a doctor, as you can see here, and a scientist. That is why I'm wearing a lab coat. And that means that you can trust me. So without further ado, I am going to pull out my mathematical equation device, and we are going to run the numbers here. Coop has sent us his score prediction. Okay. So I have ran the numbers here, and it does look like based on the output from the mathematical equation device here, if you will have a look here, it does appear that Coop's score prediction for this game has been approved. Sure. Oh, okay. I'll take it, I guess. So my score prediction has been approved. So what we're going to do is head on over here. What we're going to do is head on over here to my 2023 score prediction board. As you guys can see, I'm going to put these up each and every week in the preview videos. That way you can track how close or not close I am in each game. And we were pretty darn close with the Miami Redhawks prediction. I had 38-17 with a dub. You guys already know the final score, 38-3. Anyways, I'm stalling. Enough is enough. Let's do this, okay? I'm just gonna write the score down. I'm actually gonna cover myself up when I write this, and I'm just gonna turn around. I'm gonna give you a few seconds to process it, and then we're gonna talk about it. So, sit tight. You can't see it, right? All right. That is correct. I do have this game for the Miami Hurricanes as an L. Let's go ahead and make it official with the red marker. Now, I do want to provide some extra context here, if you'll hear me out for a moment. I do think this is a winnable game for the Miami Hurricanes. Honestly, I really and truly, with all of my heart, do believe that. I think. The problem here for me is it's too tough for anyone to really gauge where either of these teams are yet, because we played nobodies in week 1. So we truly don't know. The Aggie fans, of course, are hype about Wigman, and oh my goodness, he threw for 5 touchdowns in 3 quarters. And Miami fans are like, yo, we had sort of a balanced attack. Like, we rotated in 4 different running backs, 250 yards on the ground. We took care of business and did what we needed to do. We're a more aggressive team. We have coaches this year that are actually making adjustments. But the deal for me is Miami just has to show me this season. And it doesn't mean that I'm setting all the stats and the tape and stuff to the side and just saying, it don't matter, you got to show me. That's not it. But the reality is, again, historically speaking, we've struggled against SEC teams. I don't know if it's just them being bigger, faster, stronger, if it's the nerves. I don't know. The talent, whatever it may be, we've struggled against SEC teams. For now, officially, I'm locked in, and I say for now, I can't change it. It's on the prediction board. I'm locked in at 31-34, and I hope and pray every single night until the game gets here that I am wrong. Yes, I'm going to provide the same disclaimer, and you're going to have to listen to it. I don't want to hear any of that "you're not a fan" bullshit. I am not going to tolerate it this season. I don't put up with the fan police. Now, you don't get to decide if I'm a fan. I don't get to decide if you're a fan. And if you say, Coop, I can never predict the Miami Hurricanes to lose, that's okay. You do you. That's perfectly fine. I'm not judging you. That's okay. And trust me, I get it. It is very hard. I think people underestimate that. How hard it is for me to come on this platform and predict Miami to lose. I never want to do that. And you can throw it in my face all you want if Miami ends up winning. I'll be ecstatic if I'm wrong. I will be right there celebrating, saying, thank goodness Coop was wrong. But right now, I got to set my Canes pride to the side. It's over there in my office chair. I set my Canes pride to the side, and I try to use my brain and make a realistic prediction, because I'm in a different situation. I have a platform. Thousands of people are going to watch this, and I have a reputation to uphold. I'm trying to build some credibility. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully enough disclaimers out of the way. I did also poll my Twitter followers. I'll pop that up here on the screen somewhere. Let me scoot over. We'll put it up here somewhere. And I ask you guys, who do you have winning this game? Miami or the Aggies, or are you undecided? 71.1% of my followers on Twitter, well, those that voted anyways, believe that Miami is going to win. So it looks like confidence is at an all-time high right now. 16.8% believe Texas A&M will get the dub, and 12.1% said undecided at this point in time, which is, you know, honestly kind of almost where I was going to be at, but I gotta come out and stand firm and be honest with how I feel about it. So that's what I have, and just pray that Coop is wrong, man, because I do not want to be right on this one. But I do want to say that it is winnable for Miami. 100%. Texas A&M is not unbeatable. There are plenty of other things that we'll address throughout the week, talk about some weak points. I'm going to be bringing on a guy that is a content creator for the Aggies, and he's going to come on and give us some extra insight in another video that I upload this week. That should be a really good time. But I would love to get a win against Jimbo, because you guys know my history with Jimbo Fisher. I'm not a fan, to say the least. So Miami Hurricanes, please prove me wrong. Do me a solid and please prove me wrong. And let's beat the Aggies in 2023. Remember, guys, leave some sort of comment below, giving away some free bracelets to subscribers that leave comments on every preview video each week. So make sure that you do that. And let's have some fun this week, man. I'm going to pump out some stuff, and we're going to have a good time. And I'm really looking forward to the live hangout on Saturday. Remember, though, guys, We're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one. You can see what we've come up with. Wait a minute, that doesn't say boobies.